I just imagine it's a good thing that he used people, because if he used real monkeys, after take 30, the monkey would be like, oh my god, the working conditions here are not safe. It's just, I quit. He would leave so fast, that monkey.
Hey pals, welcome to another episode of the Blood Pals podcast.
Welcome to a mysterious, futuristic world that is in fact the past for us, because it's from 2001. Which is a science fiction movie that's also a meditation, that's also a hypnosis, that's also a journey.
It's literally
your
like
own
going
mind.
on a trip.
If you don't want to do drugs,
Oh, yes.
but you do want to feel the effects, check out this movie we're going to talk about today, which is
2001, A Space Odyssey.
an odyssey into your own imagination. It's basically the journey of prehistoric times.
The first humans.
And he shows us like how these monkeys survive, discover weaponry, and destroy the other monkeys. I don't know if they are monkeys. But like there's some animal.
Yeah.
Slash Homo sapien, I don't know. You see the present time of these humans who are still trying to develop and get to the next level, figuring out what the world is about. And so now we're on the moon. And then the third part is we're going to Jupiter. So this is like the future. We haven't even been to Jupiter. I don't know, maybe we have, but we haven't like landed.
God
No?
damn it.
No.
But listen, I don't want to get into conspiracy or anything, but like even moon landing is so hard that I'm
Exactly.
kind of doubting it.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine this movie that was made in the 60s, the third part of it is looking into the future, and it shows what it would be like for a human to meet an extraterrestrial and step into their space. How would that feel? And it somehow shows that like so visually and so realistically. I don't know how it would be, but when you're sitting there, like you actually do feel that you are there. And then it ends with, why are we here? Like this little section of like, what's the purpose of humans? What are you to this world? How are you gonna keep going from this day on? And it ends with a bang. So that's, if you were to kind of say what the movie is, it's these three parts. And the tough thing is, like, I keep wanting to recommend this movie to people, be like, go watch it in the theater, it's playing again, go watch it. And then I always stop myself, because I'm like, they won't be able to sit through it. But just imagine if you put yourself, accepted the experience, then it would really be a good meditation.
But why wouldn't it be interesting for people? Like, there is first humans, you're gonna see, that's so exciting.
Exactly.
And then you get to see, and that's such a famous scene too. Like, everybody has watched that clip, at least, of those monkeys doing that. Even in Barbie movie, they remade that. Such a classic, but also not good for Gerwig.
Not good for Gerwig.
Like, no. What are you doing?
I mean, like,
imitating.
I get that she was trying to pay homage, but like 10 minutes of the movie is just recreating 2001.
I know.
Come on.
Might as well have that 5 minutes too in the beginning
You're
of it
right.
too. Like, pitch black.
It's like, I'm a Barbie girl. It's just playing for 5 minutes. We'll get into this and what the meaning of the film was, every sequence, scene, character, and so much more in our breakdown of 2001, A Space Odyssey. It starts with, like, nothing. It just starts with a black screen.
Yes, that's...
What the heck is going on?
Oh my god. That's actually such a good time, People are actually quiet. And you hear this sound of, like... Is it like a music of... I don't know.
I feel like it's famous song,
kind of.
but also there's, like, these, like, screams. Ooh.
Oh, really?
These kinds of things. Yeah, sound of the universe. That sounds right. Like,
Kind of
wind,
reminds you... Oh, yeah.
everything.
Exactly. Kind of reminds you of the stars or, like, something like that, probably. But then, it's 5 minutes...
I know.
Oh, wow. He has so much trust in his
Yeah,
work.
I know.
And, like, he has so much confidence, I would say. For
Exactly.
people to hang out for 5 minutes like
God.
that.
You know, the first time this movie played for executives and people who paid for the movie, 271 people walked out of the theater.
No!
Like, imagine
How
how
many
that
people
make you
were
feel.
there in the theater?
Probably 273, like him and his wife and all these people.
I think
But
so.
it was so, like, I can't even imagine how awkward that would be for people to walk out And these are the people who are supposed to champion your movie. They're not even the audience.
Oh my god, how could they walk out?
I know, how rude do you have to be to not sit and trust
Like,
that this
if you want
filmmaker
to
knows?
judge it or like want to market it, or like you're a journalist or something,
Mm-hmm.
you have to watch the whole thing and then judge that or like talk about it or something. Like, how could they not experience the whole thing and then walk out?
I kind of get why the executives walked out. It's insane that he just put, because it's a visual medium and he just has a black screen for 5 minutes. And it always makes me think, like, do you think when he was editing the movie, do you think he would skip that part, be like, yeah, don't worry, nothing's going on in the first 5 minutes.
The
Just
thing
go.
is, nothing is not going on in that scene because it's about space, and in space there is no time, and it's a void. You know, it's a
Right.
void. It's a vacuum. It's pitch black. It's a space. Like, it's about that, and we are space, and like consciousness is space. So. It's like you gotta deal with it. You gotta
Exactly.
deal with your own thoughts. You gotta
Yeah,
you
right.
gotta stay there, man. Like, we are so, especially now. Like, I can imagine at that time there were no phones, nothing. People were not that addicted to dopamine. There were television, of course, but right now nobody will sit for 5 minutes doing
Exactly.
this.
And you know, the crazy thing
And that's
is,
such a sad thing.
they wouldn't watch that black screen
Yeah.
of the theater, but they would watch the black screen of their phone instead. So they would just turn into a different black screen.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so we're sitting there, all audience members are sitting there looking at this black screen, and we are so confused. Like, we don't know really what he's gonna cook up for us.
Yeah.
We're enjoying that it's like, it's putting you in the mood,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
You kind of forget about your daily life and you now get into this Odyssey world. Because, like, anything could come up, and we're just like, we've put our time and energy into sitting here,
Yeah.
and you're getting nothing out of it. But no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're
So
not
much
getting
energy it takes to sit
Just-
somewhere.
Sit, judge. Yeah. But it's such a good way to, like, make you just sit with your own thoughts,
Yes.
as you said. Because when you're sitting there, you're like, why did I make this decision? Like, why did I come to this theater,
Some
sit with a bunch of others?
existential crisis
Yeah.
you have in the middle of that. What did I do with my life?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
all these feelings that you've been repressing all day with like social media and like distracting yourself come up to the surface.
I know. It is very impressive.
This
And you know,
guy.
this guy, Kubrick, you know those sunsets at the beginning? Those were all
Yes.
photos. They weren't even videos. Because
Oh, that's a scam. He's a scam.
this guy. But the thing is,
Yeah.
he's afraid of flying for some reason.
No way.
I think he loved his life
is?
too much.
Just like my grandma.
Oh. There you go. And so he wouldn't get on planes at all if he could avoid it. So he
Wow.
just
So
had some other people.
How did he get around? Like when he filmed Barry Lyndon in England?
You're right. How did he get
Just
around?
by
Probably by
sheer-
car, yeah.
By car?
It's so
Are
much
you
more
crazy?
dangerous.
How would he go from America to England with
No,
car?
he didn't live in America. He lived in London. I'm sure you'll love that even more.
Well,
about him.
wasn't he born in America?
He was.
How did he ever get to London? Probably he was on his car. Probably he was on his car, but it was on a ship. Like,
Oh my god. I don't know how he got from America to London. If someone knows, tell me. But I know
by
he's
a
afraid.
space, probably. By a spaceship.
Exactly. But he made it to London somehow, and then he didn't want to go to Africa, so he just hired some photographers, and he was like, I don't know, on the phone with them or something, and they would frame up for a photo, and he would be like, okay, now pan it like 45 degrees to the left, now bring it up.
How did he even like see it? Was there like
I
a
don't
video call or
know.
something at that time?
Yeah, there was definitely no video call, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they would keep mailing the photo so precise.
Now, what
Just go
difference
get on the
would
plane. Fucking do it
what
yourself.
difference would it make if it was like? But I gotta say, it was so
The framing.
It was so like accurate and like precise that you could tell. You could tell it was thoughtful. It was a thoughtful thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was exactly in the middle, so insanely like in the
Exactly.
middle.
Even this photo, like you can just see he's perfectly in the middle. All the
Look at
lines
these.
lead to him. And he built, he ordered to build all of this. This doesn't exist. He built that little room for him to be in. So amazing. Even though the shots are so perfect at the first sequence, it cuts away from them so quickly. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't hold on anything that long. Before you get used to it, I love when it just holds on a shot and you can study every part almost to the point that you get bored. But here he would cut from one sunset to the next sunset, to another sunset, you know? And then from like this monkey shot to now the other side.
I
back.
think they just had a lot of beautiful photos. They wanted to brag about it. That's
Probably,
all.
exactly. And like it doesn't let you get bored. Like for a movie that's so slow,
Yeah.
the shots cut really fast in that first sequence.
I'm kind of surprised you say that. Because, yes, it was a slow movie. So how do you say, like, it was so fast?
Exactly. But if
I
you
think
go
it's
back,
just
you'll
that-
notice.
Yeah.
Cause just the first part, like later
Yeah.
is so fucking slow.
I know.
But the monkey part, maybe because it's silent, they wanted it to feel really fast. So every few seconds they would cut to a new shot.
Ooh.
Barely hold. And then there's a real tiger that attacks a monkey. Did you see how realistic that was? The tiger?
I forgot
Oh,
about that. No.
There's like a leopard that jumps from a mountain and attacks one of the monkeys.
Wow.
And then the leopard later is sitting on a zebra. Maybe you remember that shot.
Oh, yes.
Uh-huh.
I do remember that. Yeah.
But imagine they had a real leopard attack one of the monkey men.
That was a real leopard?
Yeah. Like they got a real leopard. Kubrick put himself in a cage so he would be safe.
It's crazy. It's so insane.
Yeah, exactly. And like he put his main crew in a cage and then the monkey people were in the leopard area
Oh!
getting attacked.
Oh my god!
Anything from the movie, I feel like.
I can imagine like him sitting like in the cage. That's so disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this monolith comes and this is the point in the movie where shit goes down. Like you don't even know what's going on. You start to
Yes.
form your own ideas about what this is.
Yes.
But it's just a black rectangle that comes to these monkey areas. Like what does
Yeah.
that even mean?
That's like a hard drive.
Exactly, like
A
one big hard drive.
Yeah.
Just drops in and there's this music in the background too. It's like oh.
You know those like Arabic music that comes in the background of every desert.
Similar to that one, yeah.
Yeah. So what I got from it at first was that this is absolutely. Now you're not gonna believe what I'm gonna
Okay.
say. You're gonna be so surprised. I've never said this word ever before. It's consciousness.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
Where's this gonna go?
Ah! Yeah. So I feel like that's like the beginning of humans like gaining that like self-awareness of themselves and what they're capable of, what they can do, and their kind of brain kind of developing in that sense. So it's like about, imagine all this world, this universe was created. It created all these animals and everything, and it created these humans. But it made them specifically for the purpose of having consciousness, because they have nothing to defend themselves with. They are absolutely useless. They should have gone extinct. Like, humans should have gone extinct a long time ago, I feel like. They have nothing to recommend them in this natural world, other than their mind, other than their consciousness. That's it.
I really agree with you too. So what I thought was like a more physical thing, which was this screen, what does it look like the most?
Yeah.
It looks to me like a cinema screen, you know, like if you just turn it around. And I know that's like super literal way of looking at
You
it.
said that in the cinema, and I was blown away by your theory.
Because it's kind of it's
It's
very
so
similar to
good.
consciousness too.
Yeah.
Because what are movies really? They're stories. You listen to stories to learn of what other people went through and what you should like basically do or not do. Like for example, you would watch a revenge movie or read a revenge story and you would be like, okay, you know, chances are I'm not gonna go spend my life as following revenge. Yeah. Because like I saw how that ended for this person.
Exactly.
So you kind of get
Unless
to
like it's Count of Monte Cristo, he had a really happy ending. I loved it.
exactly like if you watch a happy ending revenge movie, you're
Yeah,
more likely
yeah.
to go do that. So
Exactly.
it's like it literally affects your life, like because it's a story, and then a story that is through the eyes of someone. That's the movies. That's like so close to gaining like a passageway into another person's brain, basically.
You're so right.
You know? It's because you get to see the world out of that filmmaker's eyes for that few hours. So you're literally gaining the consciousness that they had. It's coming infused into you. So to me, that represented like once films were created. I know that's like so pretentious, but just imagine once stories came to be.
Yes, stories.
Then like yeah, these monkeys could now reflect their what they've learned onto the stories and shared with other monkeys, and so stories like help you see what you really are.
Oh, you're
and
onto
reflect it
something. You know
onto
what
yourself.
it is that you're talking about is exactly collective consciousness. You're so right. It's like actually a hard drive that records all the stories and everything that happened to humans. Those early humans, they survived because they could pass their knowledge to each other by stories. We always had stories.
And that's what like every day you're doing. When you talk to someone, you're telling them a story. Like you're like, oh, don't go to that well because when I was there, a leopard attacked me. That's a story that you tell someone, and then you save them from going to the well and getting attacked.
And the thing is, like Carl Jung. Oh, this
guy loves Carl Jung.
Oh, I got a revelation. So this guy is like a sucker for Carl Jung, apparently. He loves Carl Jung. And Carl Jung has a theory that is famous. Collective unconscious. Oh, I realized I said collective conscious in the beginning. It's collective unconscious. So it's like a record that exists in all of us from all of our ancestors. So, for example, the fear of darkness and spiders and snake is because of those monkey ancestors that we had. That's why there's like a record of things that happened.
That's so good. The fact that you say it looks like a hard drive, that's so real. So
I think that's what they had in mind too. I wonder if hard drives look like that at the time.
Yeah, maybe. Exactly. But whatever it is, it's like a way of now storing information.
Yes, that's kind of like the features that we have as humans. That's so remarkable.
Exactly. What the hell? He managed to get all of these ideas across with a black rectangle that a bunch of monkeys are dancing around. I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. And then what's crazy is how he managed to predict the future. If you think about it, if you just look at humans, like from a far away place where you can still see each person, we're always looking at these black rectangles, like all the time. Either if it's our phone or it's our tablet.
Building, skyscraper. Huh?
Yeah, that too. But I'm thinking more like the smartphone section, which is like either television, cinema, laptop, anything. Like we're always like any kind of work that you do, it's through this black screen that you do it. And
if you go to like Dundas, probably there are all these.
I know, how creepy. Exactly, they're the same size as the monoliths too, and you're looking at them. And like even for me, like I try to avoid my phone. I put it away, I hide it, and still at the end of the day, I look at it. It says like screen time 6 hours. So you imagine, like for 6 hours, this human is just looking at this screen, and it's like he predicted that. How the fuck? Because at the end of the movie where the guy is like laying down and reaching for the screen, like that's me every night. I'm like, okay, where's the phone? Come to me.
But in darkness, like.
Yeah, all right.
Where are you?
Because. Do you see how insane this is?
Yes.
Like, there was no phones at the time. There wasn't even any computers. But somehow he predicted that this black screen would be, like, the biggest part of our lives in the future. And it is.
And it's not even the most surprising thing. Like, he predicted the the video calls and, like, the Zoom calls.
He predicted everything.
And the isolation, you're on Zoom. And,
exactly.
All of this. COVID-19. He's like... He
is
predicted everything. Yeah. Like the suit that this guy's wearing is exactly the suit that people would wear during COVID-19, like in hospitals or something.
This movie is secretly about COVID-19.
About COVID. It was actually like warning us about that, but we were too blind to see it.
Oh my God.
I feel like that's like the point of the story, that history repeats itself. If you study history, you know what the future beholds for you.
Such a beautiful thing you said. And even in the book, they really show that by comparing the monkey to Dave. So they have the last line of the monkey be, he was the master of the world now. But he didn't know what to do with it, but he would think of something. So that was the monkey line. And then for him, when he turned into the Star Child, the last line of the book for him was, he was the master of the world now, but he didn't know what to do with it. But he would think of something. Because humans, that's what you just said. Like, that's what their power is, thinking of something.
Yeah. They are so powerful because the whole universe has like a degree of consciousness, of course, but they can't do anything about it. Like imagine you're the sun and you have consciousness, of course, because they say everything has consciousness, but you can't do really anything with it. You don't have any hands. You don't have any versatility. Nothing. You can just go in circles. Like that's it. Or if you're the Earth or something. Like humans are the only species, only beings, creatures that can do something with this consciousness.
Well, then this movie is talking about how like there could be aliens, because just imagine in our galaxy, which is like the tiniest part of the universe, it doesn't even count. There's 100 billion stars. 100 billion stars means there's enough space in the universe for each person who ever existed on Earth. Like, who
to
died,
have one
to
planet
have their
to
own
themselves.
planet. Yeah, what? Like imagine the whole Earth is yours. Like how depressing, first of all. But
Oh no, I would love that.
that would be
Oh,
tough.
God.
So there's gotta be aliens. Like there's not even a doubt about it because it's just way too big. So then like those aliens would probably be like somehow similar to humans and would have consciousness.
Yeah,
and do
but the
things.
thing is, like, why do we think they're so advanced? Or maybe those aliens are just like some monkeys right now.
Exactly.
Like, who knows?
Exactly. Like you don't know what stage they're at, but it's just like chances are there will be some that are more advanced,
Yeah.
considering that it's like billions of years old.
This
This planet. So consciousness is a great thing to think about. And imagine this is just the first 30 minutes of the movie. It's
Yes.
made us think about like the most profound ideas of our life, you
I know,
know?
it could have even like been a short film. Like,
Exactly.
stopped at just monkeys.
I know.
This monkey did gain consciousness at that point, after that hard drive dropped. But what did he do with that power? What did he do with that self-awareness? Violence! It tried to kill someone with that. Because, like, realized that, oh, I can kill. I could, like, hurt with this. So, instead of even, like, trying to hurt other animals, like, hunt them down,
Haunted its own species.
hunt its own thing. It's so amazing. Because, like, we talked about, you know what, dolphins. They also have a little bit of consciousness. And they kill. Suicide, they commit that.
They do
They
commit.
commit to that.
But even humans do that. Like every day there's
Of
war.
course, that's why.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
humans kill themselves. Like, they kill other humans
Right.
with this.
All the time, every day. Like there's always a war going on in Iran, the place that we're from.
Oh, yeah.
Like right now, I think they've arrested like some person, and they're like, "We'll kill the
At
person."
this point, I'm not even surprised. Whatever
Exactly.
they do, I just laugh at them. Like, they're so ridiculous.
But one thing about him going to violence is, don't you think it was worth it that he found food for himself and his tribe? Like he managed to survive by killing another monkey,
But
like showing his power.
is that like the best kind of way to have control and power? Like, because other people are just afraid of you. So this monkey, what it did was that it caused fear. I don't know if that's like the best way to do it. Of course it's not. Of course it's not the best way. But
Monkey should have used kindness and caring.
yes,
They
like
should have told the monkey.
compassion and empathy. but I guess like empathy comes with a little bit of like more consciousness, where it's too advanced for it. But at least like we see that violence is an interchangeable kind of like part of consciousness. Like it comes with the package. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to be a human, you want to have consciousness, you will have this dark side to you too.
And again, I do think like survival does warrant being violent.
Yeah, that's
Like
also
because you have to stay alive. Like that, your life is so precious. Like you have to fight for it.
Yeah.
And if that means hurting somebody else, like you better do that.
I had a monkey doll that you could like. It was like a puppet. You could put your hands in it. And then when I was watching this, these guys exactly look like my monkey. Oh my god, they're creepy eyes like that.
That's so good. I mean, this is a Hollywood movie, and your monkey
I
looks
know.
like that.
I think I could act like a monkey in that movie. I would really love to be in those costumes. It's so freeing.
Is it? I feel like it would be the
Oh,
most
it's
stressful.
hot. It's so hot, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably so hot too, exactly, because it's like skin and hair and all that on top of you for hours. Like he's probably doing hundreds of takes.
Oh
And you're just
no, not with
sweating in there.
Kubrick.
Yeah, you're right.
If like if I directed, it would be 2 takes at most.
Yeah, right.
Like, let's move on. Let's go.
Exactly, but no, not Kubrick. And then
Uh-huh.
imagine he would judge the performances too. You did mention this. Like he would be like, "That's not how a monkey acts."
Like, how would you know, Kubrick? How would you know what a monkey thinks? How does it act?
And they look like real enough to pass for monkey.
I know, it's just the eyes. If they did something about the eyes...
You didn't believe the eyes?
Yeah, it was so human.
Oh, okay.
It actually was exactly like our eyes.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It has so much whiteness and then brown, obvious human eyes, like...
Oh.
And then there was like around the costume, it was so obvious, like that this is the costume and this is the part that the real human is. It was so creepy.
For me, the eyes made it the most real. Because imagine if you just had like fake eyes that were put on top. I would be like, that's a man in a mask. But if it had the real eyes, you'd be like, oh my god, that's like a prehistoric human. You know, it has so much hair, but like it is human. Like you can see in the eyes.
I don't know, maybe like if they did a little bit of more makeup, like around the eyes, like, you know, kind of, I don't know at that time what did they have, like, for makeup, but if they could, like, attach these costume and, like, the face kind of together,
Right.
so they could blend in each other, that would have been better, but it felt like it was detached, so obviously.
Okay. And did anything else bother you other than the eyes?
No, it was the
Oh,
eye.
great.
It was like, and the hair, it was too long. And also, Homo sapiens, or like these kind of humans, like first humans, they did not look like that at all. Like those are so monkey, but humans kind of had this very, like, big forehead, and it came like really forward until here, and the eyebrows were here, and then the eyes would go in, and like a big mouth like that. So...
Anna knows because she was there.
I know that. Yeah. That was like my cousin. Like, all that. But like that, those are the kind of pictures I've seen. They didn't even look
Right.
that human. It was like exactly like some gorillas, some monkeys. Exactly.
To his defense, I would say like maybe these are not supposed to be early humans. They're just supposed to be like some monkey, some kind of like old ancestor of the early humans.
Yeah.
Right. But still, their performance is insane. Like, they're just
know.
jumping around and doing so many crazy things that would be so awkward if anyone else did it. Like, put humans in and act it out.
You know those times that they're like fighting, or like they have this congress? It actually reminded me of our parliament, you know? It was so similar.
Exactly. And there's 20 of them, too. All of them are
Like
doing
they're
it certain.
impulsive, they do things, they jump around on their feet like that, their hands are going like exactly how monkeys would go. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like so surprising to me to see that.
Imagine if someone told us, go make a monkey movie today, like me and you.
Yeah.
Just imagine how bad that would go.
I know.
You know, like it would be you in the monkey suit probably.
And then the producer in the monkey suit, the director,
Yeah, I
writer,
would make the monkey suit, and it would be so weak. And so you just think like 50 years ago they made that. I cannot believe how real it looks.
Yes.
With no CGI, with no visual effects. Like they shot it on film too. You know what the heck? Like if you just mess up a little bit, the shot will be too dark or too bright. And they have these backdrops. Like it always looks like it's sunset. It's like it feels like it was in Africa, but they really shot it in a studio, and they put a projector, you know, for the background sky.
Whoa, really?
So of course they weren't in actual Africa, you know.
Of course.
But it's so
So
impressive. Like even today, like we try and use this green screen. All you have to do for the green screen is like film yourself in front of it and then just click like Luma key, remove the green screen. And still it's so hard. Like I was trying to do the last one, it was so hard. And then
You actually did a Monkey Man edit.
Exactly.
Ow.
Check out the Monkey Man edit. But these guys did it like in person, live. They were projecting something behind, and they were putting the camera somewhere so there wouldn't be any shadows on the wall, and they're acting it all out. I just imagine like it's a good thing that he used people, because if he used real monkeys, after take 30, the monkey would be like, oh my god, the working conditions here are not safe. It's just, I quit, like, send my money to the monkey department or something like that. Like, he would leave so fast, that monkey.
Oh, for
so thank God
sure.
it's people, at least.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, what I got from it was that it's not even outside of you, it's within you. You have that consciousness. It's not an alien that came and gave you this knowledge, but it was always within them, like within humans. They had that consciousness. So they went outside of themselves. They went even to Moon, to Jupiter, to go and find the reason for, I don't know, life, the meaning of life, the meaning of the universe and all of this, or like the secrets of universe, not knowing that it was in them all along. Like, they shouldn't have gone so far to find it.
You don't think they should have gone so far?
Yeah.
But then the monkeys would have died if they didn't go so far. If they thought, oh, the answer is here right now, they wouldn't even get the tools to keep themselves alive. And then later, people wouldn't even go to the moon, and they wouldn't discover that Jupiter exists. And like, yeah, even if it was within them, that rectangle, isn't it worth something that they traveled all this way instead of just living in their own backyard? That is the Earth.
Surely, but like, imagine their own personal lives, like, or like as a purpose that they have as a human is not to go to the moon or like go to the Jupiter or like go somewhere like that. It's about like finding yourself or like that consciousness as soon as possible, probably, and kind of like living your life, like enjoying your life every day, because these people didn't really enjoy their lives. Even that guy at the end, like, he had such a miserable life living alone in that mansion with no one around, and he just spent all of his life like that. And he had no friends, nothing to like enjoy, really. So I don't think maybe as a human, like, yes, as human race, we have developed or like have come so far, but like individually we still are those monkeys. We still haven't gotten to that purpose yet.
Very good point.
Yeah.
What's so beautiful about Kubrick's movie, especially this one, is he doesn't give you the answer.
Yes.
So each person can take away what level they are with their life. That's what they take away from it.
I mean, Kubrick is so good at giving these messages. Like, these are so ambiguous things.
Yeah.
How could you like tell these things to people?
Exactly, without even saying a word,
I
with only
know.
making them think about it themselves.
Yeah.
Your goal is to make someone think something and think that they thought it themselves instead of you making them think that. So that's what Kubrick literally does. Like, he just shows you these images and these sequences, and then you form your own conclusions about what he's saying. And maybe even your conclusions are different than what he thought. But because he doesn't give the answer, it's open to interpreting what it all meant.
Exactly,
so it's so beautiful.
Exactly. So it was incredible. Like, I think only Kubrick can make a movie like this. Like,
seriously.
yeah. Like, with his
Undoubtedly.
name and with his, like, kind of, like, reputation that he had at the time, he only could make an impactful movie like this, like, as slow and, like, but with a great message, but still people, like, could watch it.
Exactly.
And you know what it reminds me of also? Like this story in Bible that is like about Cain and Abel. So they're brothers, and Cain gets jealous of Abel and he kills him. Like those are like the first humans, kind of, in the Bible. Like
third
in the
and
story,
fourth.
yeah. Yeah, the third and fourth, exactly, after Adam and Eve. And what happens is that this person lets this dark side of him take better of him, and then he kills his brother. That was the original story that Kubrick told. Like, they were monkeys. There are no like actual humans like that. And imagine there's nothing so they could hide. They're living under the ground or like in caves, as you say, and then there are no trees. Like, how could they hide themselves? They can't go anywhere up, like they just have to run, and they're not even good runners, so it all depends on them. It's just so much. It's so good.
Exactly. It's so perfectly named if you think about it, because that's exactly what it is. The whole movie is a journey. Like, there's no really beginning or end. It's just the trip that you go on the whole time.
Exactly.
And it takes you different places. It doesn't even make sense at times, but it is the Odyssey, as you say. So what a good name choice.
And like, the thing is, there's no character in here. Like, it breaks every rule that there is in storytelling.
Exactly.
And still, you feel really good about it. Like, you love this movie. And it's, like, one of the most famous movies of Kubrick. Even before I knew Kubrick, I knew about this movie. Like, I heard of it. So, this is, like, so much. Because
Yeah, super odd film that really shouldn't work. Like, there's nothing about it that should work if you think about it.
Exactly. If we were to make something like this,
Yeah.
with no character, no plot whatsoever.
So slow, like so slow.
Super slow.
Nothing going on.
Yeah.
Things don't make sense. When people talk, they talk about nothing.
And it
Things
doesn't
that
even
don't
make sense because, like, they're in their own world, they're talking their thing. And, like, there are monkeys.
I
You don't know
know.
their language.
And then at the end, a man turns into baby. If you make this movie, it will not work. But somehow Kubrick made it, and it is the greatest. Like, literally, is there a greater film than this?
I don't think so. I don't think there was a movie that made this much of an impact on me. Ever at all. It was not even me that felt these things, but, like, a whole ancestry, like, you know, a whole journey of all these people that made me be here today.
Oh, exactly.
All of them, like, kind of related to this. Like, we watched this in theaters, so you can imagine the impact that it had on me. Like, I watched it for the first time in theaters.
I have no words either, and I've seen this 5 times. Still, I was sitting there, kind of like one tear falling down your eye.
Yeah.
And you're feeling all the emotions.
I know.
And now we are
These
on the moon.
fancy people, like,
Right.
going around and, like, talking in their posh accents.
Exactly.
And with their, like, beautiful clothes, fancy clothes. And, you know,
I
like,
mean, it's just a crazy
they're just
jump.
those monkeys.
Before even humans ever went to the moon, he shows us this. Like, they hadn't even gone to the moon. And he was, because imagine the equivalent would be if today somebody makes a movie and it's about, like, what AI will create. It's not even about AI, but it is about, like, let's say AI became conscious and, like, was in the workforce. AI, with its knowledge, would create the next big invention that would change the lives of everyone.
Yeah.
If a movie predicted what that invention would be, and then the movie was right, like, we find out 60 years later, oh my god, that was the big change. I wish we listened. Like, we could have been so much ahead. If a movie did that, that would be the same thing as what he did.
Wow.
Which is, like, this is how it will be like to go to the moon. This is how it will be like with artificial intelligence developing, you know? This is how it will be like when there's, like, technology to call back home and everything. He predicted that when it didn't exist.
You know what I'm thinking is that he didn't necessarily, like, predict it, but I think, like, he has this, like, consciousness, right? And he has studied a lot of history. And there are some people, like, during history that they have, like, become, like, the best version of themselves probably, or, like, they gained something that is, like, above average in their, like, personal selves. Like, they have found themselves. And when that happens, you kind of get to a level of knowledge that is, like, always existed in this universe and is always there. So you kind of know things that is, like, always been there. Like, that will be. And it's, like, it's not even surprising, I think, to him when he, like, made these things. Like,
Right.
I don't know how to describe this, but all the knowledge that is, like, I don't know, the airplanes or these kind of technologies, they always existed. Like, all this knowledge always existed, all these laws existed in the universe. We hadn't discovered them yet. So the thing is, like, when you get to a level of consciousness, personally, you tap into knowledge that exists in the universe. You tap into that knowledge. And there you have access to lots of information that exists. And it's actually been mentioned in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He says that there is, like, this ether. Ether is, like, something like a kind of vacuum kind of thing, or, like, some space in the universe, or, like, that holds all the knowledge of the universe in it. And you could, if you could get to that frequency with your thoughts, you could tap into that knowledge that exists.
Dang.
That, you know, all these humans that existed, whatever they thought about, whatever they got into, you could you could have access to that. So I feel like that's what happened with him too. And it's like so normal to him, but definitely fascinating for others.
Yeah, he definitely did reach his maximum potential. I feel like
I think
that makes sense.
he reached something there. But that's like a thing. Like, if you get to a kind of frequency that is so much higher than like these low frequencies that we live in all the time, you know, like survival or like
making enough to live, story of my life.
Exactly. And finding just love, you know, desperately trying to find love from friends, family, partner. If you go past all of these and get to like self-actualization, that kind of point, probably you could tap into these things. I think it all includes like controlling your mind. If you could control your mind, you could definitely create anything.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Definitely lots to think about. Like,
I know.
You could tap into the answers of the universe by just reaching self-actualization.
Exactly. Like, it's always within you. You have to find the answers within you. And that's like the thing. These people always would go out. Like, they would go to the moon to find the answers, not knowing it's in them. There are some sequences of the spaceships right after the monkey scene, right?
And it is what's beautiful about it is it's putting you into a spaceship traveling to the moon. Like, that's so unique.
Oh my!
In films like that, in films recently made, they don't even put this much attention on getting you immersed. And this is the sequence.
How did they make these? Do you know?
I know. I have no idea. Like it looks like a real spaceship too. I mean, the craftsmanship is insane. Like, you just watch it and you're blown away. How did they put this thing in space? How did they know where Earth is gonna look like?
And like the design is so unique and new. Like, how did they even like come up with that?
Exactly. Tell me about it. I think they had like really talented people who are putting like all their hours into designing. But there's this scene like the spaceship is like turning and the music is playing and everything is turning. It's so gorgeous.
That's such a beautiful scene because like right after the monkeys we get into the space and they are like just floating, you know, and you feel like you're there too. Like you're also just free floating with a music that is so calm.
What the heck? Literally today, space movies don't do this. You know, they don't take the time to do this.
They're always about like fighting and like action or like I don't know, you don't get to experience that like calmness that comes with space probably.
Exactly. And this is really the sequence that you realize like this is gonna be a classic and it's a visual movie because like of course the first part was all silent, but now even when vocalization like talking is introduced, it is so it doesn't even mean anything. So you remember like probably one of the most boring scenes of the movie is him giving a speech to these like people sitting in a table. And so what is the point of that scene? You're thinking of Kubrick is a visual director and then there's a regular director. And then the topic is this. You want to show the audience that your monolith, this thing that you found, is top secret. You don't want to let everyone know. That's the information. The regular director would probably do something like this. Like the regular director, let's say me. You would just show a really quick scene of like two people walking and one of them is like, so, sir, when are we going to tell people about the monolith? You know, when are the people going to find out? And then the other guy's walking fast and he's like, don't ever bring that up, you know. This is top secret information, Agent X, you know, and then they would keep walking. And that would be the whole scene.
Oh my God, I know.
Have you seen this scene like a billion times or what?
I know. If we were to write this, it would be all exposition.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
this
not
is secret.
It's not our fault. Listen, it's that's what most people do to make a movie. That's what they tell you to do. They're like, you know, don't waste time of people by showing such long scenes. Just like get the point across and move on. But then what Kubrick does is he turns this like 10-second scene into like 10 minutes of first people sitting in a room. There's a photographer taking photos of them from like 4 angles. And then comes to the close-up.
It's like exactly like a documentary or something. It feels so real because that happens in these boring conferences. There's always a photographer. It's so awkward, you know, nobody's talking and there's just this photographer taking pictures.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
no other filmmaker would have shown that part. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even make sense. And so he shakes their hands, the photographer leaves, and then the one guy gets up and he's like, let me introduce you to the speaker. He is this and that. Like, he's so happy to be here. You know, these scenes, what the hell is the point? The point is for it to feel like a documentary, for it to be like, you are in this room, in this conference. And it's so boring because real life is boring.
Yes.
Like, when you sit in a place like that, it is just, you're not even listening to the words. And so then he goes up and for like 5 minutes he's talking about how, you know, first he's thanking the crew. He's like, thanks, you guys are doing great. And now let me tell you, like, we gotta
But
hide
he's
this.
so cocky. Like,
Yeah.
he's too cocky. The way he talks and, like, his posture and, like,
Mhm.
that's why you kind of zone out. Like, you don't listen
That's
to him.
another
Like, he's
thing.
not genuine in his appreciation
Exactly.
even.
And so he shows this scene, like, which doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
and you're probably bored. But then, like, later, when the film is all done, that will have had an impact on your mind because you will have felt like you were one of the astronauts. You know, so much more than if it was just a weird exposition scene. So it's like full of these. Every time people are talking,
Yeah.
it's usually like long and boring, and the point is small. But you get to hear the whole conversation.
Wow, that's so true.
So cool.
I felt like it was just me who couldn't understand what he was saying
Mhm.
because I kind of zoned out and I was like, oh, this is the social media brain that I have,
Yeah.
you know, that's kicking
Yeah.
in. But thank God you feel the
Mm,
same way too.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this is the same sequence that he calls his daughter back home. You
Oh
remember?
yes,
The Zoom
yes.
call. So
that
beautiful.
was so genuine,
So
beautiful.
cute,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And again, like, it doesn't matter to the story that much if you
No.
think about, like, oh, past, future, present. But it's also, like, super important at the same time because it shows, like, father and daughter. This is a story about humanity. This is a story about, like, them being separate and all of these beautiful
And
things.
it also parallels to Dave when we see him, like, see this video call of his parents.
Oh, yeah,
saying
Frank. Mhm.
Oh, is he Frank?
The other guy.
Oh,
The other guy was seeing the video.
Really?
Mm.
Oh, okay. Because, like, he was so, he didn't have any emotions.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like, I thought it was
He's the
this guy.
culprit.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. So he was just sitting there, laying there, basically, and he saw this video of his parents, but he had no emotions whatsoever. Like, he didn't care that much. It was his birthday, too. Like, he
Exactly.
didn't care at all. And
It's a parallel, you're right.
so true. But it maybe seemed, kind of makes sense because Moon is closer to Earth, so that guy is probably more attached to his family.
Oh, yeah, right. Mhm.
Although it is just to his daughter, not his wife. Probably they're gonna get divorced after. I'm coming
Exactly.
with a drama plot, you know. Like he cheats on his wife on the spaceship with a woman that is also like they have an affair. So that woman also has like a husband and everything back
Oh,
home.
my God.
Oh, and that woman to get back at him goes with the husband of that guy. So
Oh,
they like have an
Lord.
affair on Earth and Moon.
This is like 2001 part 2, the melodrama.
That's the kind of movie I would have made.
I know. I always think about this when I'm watching Kubrick, like, what would I have done? And it's always like this creepy thing, whereas like his is perfect. But no, I mean, it's what matters is that like we stay true to what we like.
Yeah.
If you make that movie, I'm sure people will watch it.
I know.
Like 2001 with drama. That's great.
A space drama.
Exactly.
So true.
And-
And then the other guy is in Jupiter. So he's like more far away, like he has
Oh.
more space from his family, like in a literal term.
Oh, did you know the little girl was Kubrick's daughter? Like Kubrick's real daughter.
No way,
She was such a cutie too.
Yeah.
And such a good actor. Like she was probably the best actor of the movie.
Yeah, is she an actor now? Like,
I
did
think she became
become
a director, documentary director.
Oh, that's so
Very good.
Oh, documentary. That makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, all of his movies are documentary.
I know.
Yeah. And then, yeah, she
And-
was so cute. And then
yeah.
she said, why did this guy tell her to tell something to her mom?
I know. like this guy, his whole thing was like, tell somebody else I said hi. So he was like, yeah, tell your mom. Like, it's so important. Tell your mom I said hi. I make sure you remember it.
And the moral is like, if it was me, I would never have told my
I would never
parents.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, you just don't think it's important at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was funny that he's saying like, this is so important. Tell your mom. Why? Why is it so important?
I just love, you know, these are maybe like random to the movie somehow. Like if you think about it at one glance. But it kind of makes sense because it's about human, like it's so natural, you know? You have these conversations all the time when you are like away on a vacation or something from your family. You have these calls and you say like, yeah, say hi to that. And in the context of movie, maybe it doesn't make sense. But it's real life people.
Exactly.
Real life experiences.
People judge Kubrick. They say his movies are not human enough. They're
They're
wrong.
so
it's like
human.
they're
They're
too human. Yeah, literally.
Too
Exactly. And you know, this kid, like her dad asks her, "What do you want for your birthday?" She says, "I want a bush baby."
What is a bush
I
baby?
don't know. I don't know. But when I heard it, I was like, this kind of sounds. This sounds a little suspicious.
I know.
What's a bush baby?
What is
Kubrick?
it? You have to look that up.
And even she looked like kind of mysterious when she said it. It's like, I know.
She was so okay. She was a cutie. She was also like one of those mischievous kids, probably.
Yeah, I think she had ADHD. If I were to diagnose
you came
her.
with that whole like psychoanalysis of this baby, like
Right.
that's amazing.
So then they go to the moon and minds are blown. Check it out, you know. You gotta watch it for yourself. Then they're in a literal spaceship, like actually landing on the moon.
Oh yeah.
And the camera changes. So a lot of the time the camera was like handheld, like not handheld, really stable.
Yeah.
And tracking and turning really beautifully. And then this scene when we're in the spaceship, it suddenly becomes handheld, like the camera's shaking, yeah. And you feel like you are in there with the astronauts. And they go see the monolith. So now the parallels are...
Now
yeah,
you realize, like, it's real. Moon landing is real, really.
Perhaps not.
Like, if they could replicate it, like, in a movie like that, in a studio.
They could easily have faked it.
What proof do we have? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't really have proof. Like, it's so easy.
You can't really tell. Unless you go to the moon yourself and see, like, the foot
right.
tracks. Whatever.
Yeah, you think you would have stayed after?
They say there's no wind in the moon, so probably it would stay. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then you see, like, the American flag, probably, or something, or the Chinese, whatever. I don't know.
We gotta go there and put the plot past flag. That would be so good.
That would be so iconic, yeah. Oh, actually, did you know that, so random, Iranians put a monkey in a spaceship?
Of course. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, what did they do with it?
It was like in the 2000s. They put a monkey.
They were so inspired by this movie, I'm sure. In the year 2000?
In the year 2000, Iranians put a monkey in a spaceship in the honor of Kubrick's 2001 movie. And they sent this poor monkey to the space, to the moon and back! With a bunch of bananas, probably.
Why didn't they put a human? If they were going to send someone to space, why didn't they put a human? They could have gained something from this experience. No, they gotta put that monkey. What are they thinking? Oh my god, this government.
They're so ridiculous.
Too weak. Wow, I can't believe it.
Yeah, and the poor thing was so small too. It was like a baby monkey. Or yeah.
And it's gotta be alone in a human-built shuttle.
I wonder what happened to him. I did like...
They definitely killed him after. What are you thinking? They kill even humans. They're like, okay, you're back. You serve your purpose.
Gained some consciousness, something like back when you come back. Oh god.
Oh wow.
I think they were inspired by this guy. Like, why else would you put a monkey in there?
Why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of putting a monkey in a space shuttle? Why? Why would you even put a monkey in a car and send it to somewhere else? What is it gonna do?
I know exactly. Even that. Oh.
Let's say it gets there. What's gonna happen? Now, we've got such a little time and we've got so much of the movie to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So
there was like a hard drive again dropped on the moon.
Exactly.
So they touched that exactly like the monkeys did. And then immediately we cut to the
beautiful, exactly. Yeah, they showed like humans haven't even changed.
Like
yeah, right. Okay. And then they go to Jupiter. And we are in the future. They're going to a place we've never seen. So this was only the tip of the iceberg. This was part 1 of 2001 A Space Odyssey. Odyssey into your own mind and into your own imagination.
Exactly. We really enjoyed this movie. I really recommend, if it is still in theaters, go and watch it there.
Check it out, especially before we do part 2 of 2001. You better check this movie out if you can in the theater. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Yeah, and
Okay.
if you have like a projector or something, like put it on the big screen, like the biggest screen you can
Biggest
find.
screen you can and biggest sound.
And
Check out the other Kubrick films that we have
Oh,
already
yes.
lined up for you. We got The Shining, we got Barry Lyndon,
Barry Lyndon.
and Full Metal Jacket.
Thank you so much. Leave us the comment below about what you think about this, the philosophical aspect of it, the themes, the non-existent plot, and Kubrick, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, exactly.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much, and take care.
See you on the next one. Bye.